The topic is the AFROTC at Tennessee State University. Of course, we have with us Major Moore and Cadet Johnson talking about the AFROTC program at Tennessee State University. And of course, Major Moore, let's start with you by having you to give our audience some information about the AFROTC program itself, not only at Tennessee State University, but what is the national government attempting to do with this AFROTC program, and how does that program fit into some of the other service kinds of related programs? Let's talk about it from that perspective.
Thank you. Air Force ROTC is one of 3 commissioning sources that we have for officers. We also have the United States Air Force Academy as well as Officer Training School. But ROTC accounts for 42% of our commissioned officers in the Air Force. So we are very dependent on having a lot of students enter our program. Typically, in the past few years, we have commissioned about 2,200 officers a year through Air Force ROTC. So they are depending on us to have a lot of students. TSU Air Force ROTC has been around since 1951, and we really pride ourselves on diversity. We have 14 different universities that come to TSU in the Middle Tennessee State area every week. Every Wednesday they have ROTC. We have 4 classes. Typically people start as a freshman, and their first class is the U.S. Air Force Today, where they learn generalities about the Air Force, but also learn about communications. So even if they decide not to stay with our program, they have bettered themselves in some way. Our second year, we study air power history. And in between the sophomore and junior year, our cadets go to a field training encampment for 4 weeks, which is our officer equivalent to basic training. And they learn leadership skills. It's very stressful. It's very physical fitness oriented, but it's teamwork oriented too. And this is where our students make a crossover into the leadership of our cadet corps. Our junior year, our students learn leadership and management, as I stated earlier, and the seniors learn national security affairs and preparation for active duty. But they don't just have an academic class. They also have leadership lab, and that's the second part of their training. Leadership lab is run by the cadets. The cadre, the officers, we do not teach it. We mentor the students to make sure they're teaching it correctly. But the juniors and seniors actually teach the freshmen and sophomores. So Cadet Johnson and her crew, they make sure that the new students are learning to get in good shape, learning how to handle leadership situations, and learning to march. Very basic things, but they didn't know how to do them when they're freshmen, but now they can teach them. A neat thing, several neat things you get out of ROTC. One thing, you have a job when you graduate, which in today's job market can be very scary. It's nice to be a senior knowing you don't have to go to job interviews and that you have a job. Another great benefit is our scholarship opportunity. And at Tennessee State University, we have a historically black college or university, HBCU scholarship, that we give out. And we have many students eligible, and we pick from the students. They need to pass certain prerequisites, such as the Air Force Officer Qualifying Test, a physical fitness test, a physical, and have a certain GPA. Once they meet all those requirements, we are able to put them on scholarship, which means they will go into the Air Force upon graduation, just like Cadet Johnson. Their tuition is paid for, whether they're in-state or out-of-state. They get a monthly stipend, which increases every year throughout the program. By the time they're seniors, their monthly stipend is $400 a month, and they get $510 a year for books. So it's a very lucrative scholarship, and we think we are able to help students, Caucasian as well as African American. You just have to be a student at TSU or Fisk. We're able to help people who might not